Hello everybody, it's good to see you again. I wanted to share with you this recipe about how to make vegan cheese. When I got dairy out of my diet, one of the hardest things for me, or one of the things that I thought I would miss the most, was cheese. And when we really be honest with ourselves, we all love cheese. And people think, well, you're a vegan, it's like, what are you going to eat? Are you going to just eat salad or something? But that's not what being a vegan is about. Because God has natural methods of making cheese that is not from animal products. And you'll find a lot of the dairy products can actually be replaced. The nutrients that comes from milk and cheese and butter can be replaced with nuts, and they can be replaced with nuts. So today we're going to make some cheese out of cashew nuts. And what we're going to need is 1 cup of cashews, and for the recipe that we all have, everything you see here is simply doubled, but on the recipe it will work the same. This is one of those really useful recipes that you can actually double the ingredients and it'll work out very well. So you have 1 cup of cashews, you have 1 cup of water, and then you have 1/3 cup of fresh lemon juice, 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and you can use an optional 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, but we're not going to do that for this recipe. And we have 1 bell pepper, or about a cup of pimentos, which is basically diced bell peppers.
Red pepper.
Yeah, red bell peppers. And nutritional yeast is actually what gives it the cheesy flavor. So for making popcorn and just all sorts of different cheeses, nutritional yeast is very good for making vegan cheese. And so yeah, we're gonna pour this into the blender, and for these cashews I soak them overnight, but you don't have to. I usually don't. And then we're going to pour in some of this pimentos, or diced red bell peppers, and all the other ingredients are going to go in. The 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, it gives it a cheesy flavor, as well as the lemon juice, and we can pour in the garlic powder, the salt, and the onion powder. Don't forget the water. And with this, we are going to blend it until it's smooth, and usually I blend it for about 2 minutes. So we are going to do that. That should be pretty close. So this cheese is really useful for making mac and cheese, as well as what we were about to make, as well as the potato bake that you saw Deborah, my mom, make. She also used the cashew cheese recipe, but hers, if you notice, is a little bit more thick than this is, and sometimes when you are making cashew cheese, it can turn out a little bit more liquidy depending on how much water you use. And if it has too much liquid in it, what you'll want to do is put this in a pot, and you can put it on a low simmer, and that will simmer out all of the liquid out of it. Not all, but you can do it until your desired consistency of like a thicker, cheesy paste. And that could be used for pizzas, it could be used for toppings, and it would go good with a tamale bake as well. And so that is one tip that's very useful to keep in mind when making the cashew cheese. And with this, we can also make macaroni and cheese. And like I was saying, I love cheese, and just because I'm vegan doesn't mean that I don't get to enjoy a nice, tasty, cheesy meal. And this was actually one of the first recipes that I learned when I became a vegan, because I really love cheese. And so now with mac and cheese, you're going to want to get, the recipe calls for a pound of macaroni, and you're going to want to heat it and boil it and get it nice and al dente, and then you're going to want to strain it in a strainer, and you'll be able to pour it in afterwards. I'm going to put that back. Thank you. We're going to put some more cheese in here. And what's really nice when making macaroni and cheese, you can, what I like to do for macaroni and cheese is to, after we have it like this, before we put it in the oven, it's nice to put a little breadcrumbs on there, once you have it nice and cheesy, to make the breadcrumbs. It's very simple. If you don't know how to make your own breadcrumbs, really, all it takes is getting just a piece of bread and you stick it in a blender. This is a magic bullet where it just has a little blender piece to it. And you stick this on and you make sure that your blender is dry, or otherwise this won't work very well. And as you stick it, you'll find that you have yourself some nice blended breadcrumbs just in a few seconds. Just like that. And then you can put that right on top of whatever you may be baking. And makes a nice topping for your your cheese. And also you can add some garlic powder, or you can add almost anything that you like in there, just some seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, some salt, and then you have some seasoned breadcrumbs. That tastes great. And then here you have some mac and cheese. And later on in the day we're going to be able to sample what all of these dishes taste like, and hopefully that will be enjoyable. So I'm going to go stick this in the back and we're going to start baking it. Did this video make you hungry? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because on there you will find food that if you eat, you will never hunger again. We have more healthy cooking videos coming soon. Let us know what other dishes you would be interested in learning how to make. You might see it in our next video. Also, send us your favorite vegan recipe. We would love to hear what our viewers are cooking in their kitchens. Don't forget to share this video with at least one friend so they can see what a vegan meal really looks like.